All right, welcome back to Cloud 9 on ACTN The Voice. So our theme for the show today is back in times when. Back in times when we had a vision for steel pan and we knew what that vision was, and we were not short-sighted by the ignorance of some who only saw pan to be in the backyard somewhere or in some rusty old corner. No, we had a vision that pan would be global. What has happened? Yeah, what has happened? Because, and I was speaking to the professor's sister Antoinette in church yesterday after church, and we were making that point. It seemed as though his death would have brought to life certain issues that everybody, or many people, wanted to keep buried for one reason or another. My question is, though, are we going to just be talking the talk again? Or are we going to walk the walk? Because let me tell you something. I played pan in school. I am not like these professionals. I had the honor of hosting the tribute for Camp Professor Philmore on Saturday. It was truly amazing. I can't play like these individuals, these men and women. But I love the instrument. I want to see it in church. I want to see it all over. Where's the vision? So there's a gentleman next to me. Before I introduce him, I want to take you to a clip from Saturday at the tribute that they had for him, where Ms. Beverly Moore, the new Pan Trinbago president, she spoke briefly about the vision that she has for the steel pan, being the new head of Pan Trinbago, who themselves would have gone through tumultuous seasons over the decades, trying to bring some life into that organization as well. Let's go to what she had to say.
Very much, Mr. Master of Ceremonies. Let me acknowledge Minister Clarence Rambarat, Mr. Mark Lupon, NGC President, former Mayor Ian Atherley, my colleagues from Pan Trinbago, Ms. Denise Hernandez, the Secretary of Pan Trinbago, Mr. Marcus Ash, our Education Officer, and Mr. Darwin Greenwich from the South, who is a trustee of the organization. Fellow panelists, ladies and gentlemen, in terms of the salutations, I have not received that name, but Mayor Junior Regerlo, I know he will be here shortly. Ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed a pleasure for me to be here to bring greetings to you from Pan Trinbago. I want to say to the family of Professor that we have received that love not only in Trinidad, but also in Tobago. We too deeply miss that love. Professor arranged for about 3 bands in Tobago, and so he was always there. Even around my band, Cats and Jammers Steel Orchestra, he was there with mice and the lot. We definitely will miss him. But he has left a legacy which we will all appreciate. That legacy of love, that legacy where he cared, that legacy where he gave. He gave up himself, and for that we truly appreciate him. More so, in particular, he prophesied, together with Len Book-Zishak, Professor Philmore made a declaration, and the declaration was that he wants to see Beverly Ramsey Moore as the president of Pan Trinbago. And he prophesied, and of course today I am here as the first female president of Pan Trinbago. I am happy that he chose me. And listen, it was not easy, but among it was about 8 candidates, and trust me, I put some good licks on. So thank you, Mr. Philmore. Thank you for the blessing. I want to say, because of the role that he has played in the steel pan community, for Panorama 2018, we are going to honor Ken Professor Philmore. It will be dedicated to Ken Professor Philmore. So look forward to that, San Fernando. Look forward to that, Trinidad and Tobago. The name will live on. 2019, Panorama 2019. going to honor that great gentleman, the legacy that he has left. And so tonight, I can't wait to hear the bands as they celebrate him. We know that his name will live on. We know that he is resting in peace, and we are sure that he has joined the band in heaven where he will continue to play on. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, and joining me on stage, none other than the man Darren Sheppard, the founder of Fusion Steel. No, he's an icon himself when it comes to steel pan in Trinidad and Tobago. So, Darren, a pleasure as always. And you see, he's wearing his Ken Professor Philmore jersey. It was an amazing evening. But before we go to the event that took place on Saturday and what you have coming up, some comments and some promises being made there by the new Pan-Tobago president. I know you would have actually publicly made some statements as well to that effect, that you were calling for prior to the elections as well about dedicating the Panorama 2019 to Philmore. So I guess to the public is no major surprise because it was highlighted as well. So tell us, how do you feel about, moving forward, Pan-Tobago, the challenges that they would have had over the years? How do you feel? You feel optimistic? I know you would have, of course, contested the position as well. Congratulations to you, well fought. But at this point, it's moving forward. So how do you see things moving forward?
Well, key for the survival of the organization is where it's positioned with regards to its relationship with the NCC. Whether Pan-Tobago is going to remain an autonomous body with its own mandate, or is Pan-Tobago going to be an arm of the NCC? And only the membership could really determine that. And I'm hoping that the new executive could fulfill their promises, because a successful executive means a successful steel band movement, of which I am a member of. So I wish them well, so I could do well.
Just for those who are not familiar with the history and the NCC and Pan-Tobago, he says possibly an extended arm of the organization. But that will only work if the joints are well in place. Wow. And that, as the arm could fall off.
Nice way of putting it.
So I'm just saying, for those not familiar with the history, briefly, what would have led to the, how should I say that, separation back then in terms of working together? And, what are your hopes, just for those who don't know?
There was an act of parliament that gave the interest groups the right to run their own events. And the NCC was mainly a facilitator, providing the infrastructure and the funding, etc. Over the years, that has changed gradually. And in 2017, the NCC took the steps based on a mandate by the minister to take over the running of the Panorama and other Carnival associated events, of which Pan-Tobago took the NCC to court, won that matter. The NCC is now in appeal. However, the organization would have signed a document via its former president agreeing to give the NCC everything that we defended in court. But the NCC still hasn't dropped the appeal. So it's interesting to see how things will proceed.
From here?
My thing is to keep out of the way and allow things to evolve.
Well, I'm hoping for the best interest of the steel pan movement, and as I said before, intentions are good, but if we are short-sighted by certain things, then all they will be are good intentions. And what is about good intentions? Good, so we leave it at that. So, at the end of the day, and I'm saying this because, like everybody who loves steel pan, I think they're just kind of drained. When are we going to really see steel pan get the respect? And to the new president, Pan-Tobago, and her team, congratulations again. You all have a real uphill battle to get steel pan to where it should be. And, of course, you have all our support. So we go now to the weekend. Man, tell us about your feelings about it. It was a major tribute. It was an honor being there. What were the emotions that, in you at that point on Saturday?
Well, I sit in a very strategic position because the Philmores and the Sheppards grew up like family. So it's something personal as well. So from the tribute that was held in Fontler's Panyard 2 days after his unfortunate demise.
It's kind of even hard to say it, eh?
Yeah. I was trying to choose my words carefully.
And
that was overwhelming. You're talking about 3,000 plus people down by Fontclair Panyard. And then that preceded the funeral and the procession from Sapa to Guys. That was massive.
I saw it.
That was serious. Yeah. And then we had a 40 days remembrance in the Panyard for him among the members and some of his family members. And Saturday just capped the whole experience. So kudos to the organizers, Councillor Paris, Roger Blackman, and the whole team, his brother Brian Philmore. They did a wonderful job, and then the bands really came out and represent. Each band tried to play a professor piece, but of course they had no piece.
Pan
the piece. You know what I mean? So, yeah, and it was a nice evening.
Wow. You know, Brian, one thing about this event and in working with Brian, even on the day, you know, trying to just kind of put things together, this was, unlike all the other Pan in the Ville, this was personal.
Absolutely.
This one was, and again,
man from right down the road.
I would have spoken to Brian on that day, and you're looking at his face, and like he was just running on emotions and just automatic. Yeah. Because I think if he had only settled down, it might have been hard. Yeah. And he's such a professional in everything that he does. Antoinette would have had a rough time as well, but this was a personal thing. He's there, power washing the court.
Yeah, the man walked right through, man. Right
for his brother. Yes. And I think for everyone there, they came to represent not Ken, the musician alone, but Ken, my brother, my friend, my mentor. That's what I saw when oh God, I forgot his name. Forgive me. One of the first panelists that played Showing Cooper, right? Yeah. They signaled him to look at the slide where he was hugging up Ken, and for a moment I saw like he almost missed. He catches him, because he had to like catch himself. So it was really emotional. I mean,
Showing played a monumental role after the accident in terms of being the link between us and the family. Because he's the one who found the pan after the accident.
Wow.
So that, you're going on in history there, you know, partner. That's a serious deal. And I'm talking about, you see.
So there was a pan in the van?
He just finished performing.
Okay, right.
So he got thrown out of the vehicle as well as his instrument. So they were in the bushes trying to locate the pan, and thank God they did, because that pan should be in some kind of museum somewhere. That's an iconic instrument. And very few people play that style of tenor as well.
I didn't know that, yeah.
So Showing is a champion, man.
Wow. And then, of course, his son, Keston. And
that would be a
you're gonna see it. I can't play the whole thing today, but at least I'm gonna let you see Keston. That's all the whole montage starts off. There was a point in time I looked at him and I just had to close my eyes. And it sounded like it's even the mannerism.
The head is the same, you name it. Yeah, man. And we're doing something special because Fontclair is performing a tribute song to Professor for the Panorama next year.
Yeah. What's the plan for Fontclair moving, as we wrap? What's the plan for Fontclair moving forward outside of that? I mean, Professor, he's no longer here, but clearly, as I said, his death has brought life to so many issues that won't be discussed as it should be. What's the plan for Fontclair moving forward, from as much as you could say?
Well, I've found myself back in the band over the last 5 months.
Right.
And over the last 5 months, there's been a slew of activities. In fact, on Friday coming, we're having a third Back in Times edition where the band puts on these Back in Times events, and we bring in different artists. Each event always has a panelist.
That's the 30th, that's this Friday?
That's this Friday at Splash in Coquille Village. We have Trisha Hamilton, we have Eddie Charles, and we have panelists.
Eddie Charles?
Yeah. And Eddie have a song this year, we ain't going to talk about that on air, but Eddie is a favorite around Christmas time. DJ Mr. Desmond, and one of the band's members who's doing some DJing as well on WAC, Aaron. They'll be providing the entertainment. But we are in the process of restructuring, re-energizing, redefining who Fontclair is. And so far it's been going great. And Saturday was a manifestation of the work that was put in the last 5 months.
In terms of, so this is this Friday on, again, just remind the public where it is so they can come and support.
Splash in Coquille Village. Again, great entertainment.
There's a cost or there's?
There's a cost, only $60.
All right, and of course, that is nothing to pay to hear what Franklin has to offer.
Yeah,
the legacy.
Unfortunately, the space does not allow for the band to perform.
Okay.
But we always have pan at all our events.
All right, so there'll be a few members there. Yeah. Definitely. So in terms of how many members strong do you all have right now, overall in Franklin?
Well, the average stateside for a large band, usually about 25. But at this point, if you would have seen the band set up Saturday, we clock in 35 and there are 8 persons who didn't play on Saturday.
35 as in?
35 members.
Okay.
So you're looking at a situation where the band is building a momentum to go into the Panorama season. We'll be launching the song Heart of Love, which is in tribute to Ken Professor Philmore. Probably about the 16th of December, God willing, once the production aspect is completed, we'll have a big event to launch that.
Right. Wow. You know, again, and I also want to just talk about the statement that Brian made. And I'm asking you because I'm grateful that he was bold enough about Pan by Storm, that took Panorama by storm, and then came the results that to this day, everybody still talking about. How do you feel about that conversation being opened up in terms of how Southern bands are being treated?
I pelt away my pan stick and say I'll never play pan again. You know?
Serious.
And on that morning, there were 9 members offloading the entire band in Fontley Panyard. I was one of them. Because everybody was just, we were in a mess. And the reality is, I believe the judge's decision is final. But we are all human beings. We all make mistakes. I have judged Panorama and Pan at different levels. And I, too, sometimes are shocked with the results. Because you're going down the line and you figure that you have it. And then because it's multiple persons, somebody scores somebody slightly higher. How do you determine what is 0.5 of a point? I'm not so sure.
I think that's the issue, eh? I think it's the 0.5 so that really have people baffled. I guess if it was a clear 2 or 3 points is one thing, but it's the 0.5.
But the irony of that is, regardless of what, if you ask somebody who won that year, they'll be hard-pressed to tell you. But they'll easily tell you that Fontley should have won that year.
I was young, but I remember it very vividly. Yeah. Very vividly.
And the response to Pan by Storm now is overwhelming. And he would have left his mark on Steel Pan history with that piece of music.
No, before we wrap this evening, you know, if for those who never had the opportunity to meet with Professor Philmore and really interact with him, what's the one thing about him that you think people don't know, that you probably would have experienced?
As anybody, any human being, he'd have had his weaknesses. And I think that the whole Pan by Storm experience would have put him in a space where he probably wasn't always sure of himself. And the fact that the music has lived on brings a certain balance to his legacy. Because Pan by Storm, Pan Ecstasy, Pan Here to Stay, Fire Down Below, 3 second places and a third. That goes on in history. But because he never won, he always felt some type of way. And that must have been hard for him to deal with.
Brian said there were moments when he would just reflect and you would see him smiling. He always smiling because he's always optimistic.
Yes.
But according to Brian, there were those moments that nobody saw, nobody heard. He wouldn't allow you to see it.
Yeah, but he would have, in those quiet times, been second-guessing his ability.
Wow.
Which that's tough for anybody to do, especially somebody who's doing it at that level for so long. It's hard to come to terms with that reality, even when your peers, fellow musicians, judges, everybody
I looked at, I think it was Len Book's shop, and he hugged his casket at the, they knew. They knew he was magic.
Yeah,
They knew he was, because let me tell you something, to this day, and even those arrangers will admit this, there isn't another decorated arranger more than Ken Professor Phil. I'm not just saying that because we're here, it's a fact. In terms of his world travels, he don't have to read music to just hear a song by ear and play the entire song. There are people who read music and can't do that.
Yeah.
And as I said on Saturday night, your gift really makes a way for you. And he,
Absolutely.
And he did that.
He was a special being, regardless of what. As you said earlier, the guy was always optimistic.
Yeah, always.
You lose
Little
today,
like
and tomorrow, he ready to go again. And that is what made the man special.
You know what? I want to thank you very much for coming. Keep
Thanks
the
for having
legacy
me.
alive. So again, just a reminder of the event. This continue to support Fontclair as they, I guess, they rebuild and grow.
Yes.
So is this Friday again? Just repeat the place again.
Friday, Splash in Coquille Village. Mr.
Splash
Desmond, Trisha Hamilton, Eddie Charles, and a host of other entertainers.
And for those who probably from out of South and where exactly in Coquille Village is just like a landmark?
If you know where the roundabout is by the fire station,
Right.
you just need to make a left and ask anybody, you'll find
For
it.
Splash.
Yes.
All right. Thanks again. So what we're going to do at this time, we're going to close the program with a special tribute to Ken Professor Philmore. This is actually, you're not going to see the whole thing, but you're going to see the beginning, which is his son, Keston Philmore. March, and you're going to hear from him. And trust me, just close your eyes. Close your eyes. No, I'm serious.
It's
Close
serious,
your eyes for just about 2 minutes. Close your eyes for 2 minutes and tell me if you're not hearing the professor. Take care. Enjoy the music.